Tonight on Texas News Channel, UT President Hartzell announces spring semester plans.
Kendra Scott may become your future professor.
And an update on the sustainability efforts surrounding COVID-19.
You're watching Texas News Channel,
your leader for live local UT coverage. Good evening and welcome to Texas News Channel. For Tuesday, September 28th, I'm Faith Osterberg.
And I'm Maggy Wolanske. Thank you for joining us tonight.
It was announced this past Wednesday that interim President Jay Hartzell has been announced to serve as the next president of UT Austin. President Hartzell has spent nearly 25 years on the 40 acres, and prior to being selected as the interim president, he served as the dean of the McCombs School of Business. Hartzell says he is humbled and honored to be given this role, and he can't wait to help the Longhorn Nation change the world.
Next semester, you can take a class on how to start your own business with Kendra Scott, the founder and CEO of Kendra Scott Jewelry. She's now a professor of practice at the College of Fine Arts. Her course is Women in Entrepreneurship. It is designed to provide a more hands-on approach to support aspiring female entrepreneurs. The course is supposed to be taught at Kendra Scott headquarters, but moved to an online format this fall because of COVID-19.
The arrival of COVID-19 brought many changes to daily life, from wearing facial coverings in public to many classes being moved online. TNC's Josh Fowler tells us how changes at UT are sometimes at the cost of convenience and sustainability.
Socially distanced entrance lines, different seating arrangements, and other changes to a dining hall near you. Here is one way COVID is impacting operations this semester. For the average student living on campus, this is what a week's worth of waste in the dining halls looks like. Most of what you see here is destined for the landfill. As UT turns towards single-use products like plasticware and styrofoam to prevent the spread of COVID, students weigh in on the matter.
I think all the different cups and packaging is really wasteful, especially since it's styrofoam, so you can't even recycle it.
As you can tell here, plenty of cardboard, plenty of styrofoam, and a single walk around campus you'll be able to tell that the trash cans are overly full, and I noticed several pieces of litter. So I understand that it's a difficult time with COVID, but I feel like they could be a little bit better.
This is a stark difference from last year, when housing and dining had compostable containers and the Eco2Go reusable takeout box system.
We had to secure enough single-serve containers to feed the number of students that we were anticipating in feeding. So we had to make some arrangements with some of our suppliers, and unfortunately that commitment had to be with what was readily available. So that was the foam container.
Now, officials for housing and dining say that they plan to move back towards compostable containers by the start of the spring semester. But for the time being, those in Jester and other residence halls are continuing to receive their meals in containers just like these. Josh Fowler, Texas News Channel.
This past Saturday, the Horns Up Night event took place all virtual. The online event was held for all freshmen and transfer students. These students had the opportunity to submit photos to be a part of the class of 2024 Mosaic Photo. We asked a couple of freshmen how their experience at the virtual event was.
Given everything going on with COVID-19, I understand that the campus can only do so much. And with this event they did, it helped me be more aware of the community and made me feel a part of it. Even though I'm not there with everyone else physically, I felt connected with everyone else, like spiritually or virtually in a sense.
I think just showing the Texas Tech-Texas rivalry really brought a little more connection to me because it showed us a brief history, how much we won against them, and just how hard they play compared to any other team.
This year, all UT employees will be required to complete an online Title IX training. The training will cover changes in Title IX procedures. The changes were a result of recommendations from Hush Blackwell last year, as well as changes in federal regulations that went into effect in August. Employees must complete the training by May 31st.
Last Wednesday, the ruling of a grand jury in Kentucky was announced for the case of Breonna Taylor, who died when police fired over 30 rounds into her boyfriend's apartment during a drug raid. The grand jury brought wanton endangerment charges against police officer Brett Hankinson for firing into a neighbor's apartment. Family attorney Ben Crump speaks on the situations.
So, when we think about this grand jury proceeding, if you want us to accept the results, then release the transcript.
That's right.
Release the transcript so we can have transparency.
As a result of the ruling, protesters sprung up in many cities around the country, including here in Austin. Around 100 protesters marched downtown demanding justice for Breonna and the release of jury transcriptions. Austin police arrested 12 people Wednesday night for misdemeanor charges of obstructing the roadway.
2 UT female students have spoken out on Instagram about being sexually assaulted by 2 fraternity members of Texas Row. The post went viral and soon led to the creation of a petition by Justice Horn. The petition aims at shutting down and dismantling Texas Row by getting the attention of Austin City Council and University of Texas officials.
UT President Jay Hartzell announced in an email Monday morning that next spring semester will look very similar to this semester. Hartzell says the university will continue to carry out online learning tools in classrooms, proactive community testing, and other COVID-19 safety procedures. The plan for the 2021 spring commencement ceremony has not yet been determined. Hartzell says he will continue to keep the Longhorn community up to date with more information as the year progresses. Today, University Health Services start their month-long flu shot campaign. During a usual campaign, UHS can give flu shots to up to 250 people per hour over various places around campus. But now, with less people on campus and the need to practice social distancing, UHS plans to administer shots to 12 people an hour at the Union, where social distancing can be practiced. UHS says getting your flu shot this year is more important than ever for yourself and for others.
We don't want people with the flu, which is vaccine preventable, to be taking away the medical resources from folks who have COVID, which is not vaccine preventable. So we want to minimize unnecessary medical visits that might need to go with people who have COVID-19.
To get your flu shot, you must sign up for an appointment on the University Health Services website. On the day of your appointment, you must show you completed the symptoms survey on the Protect Texas Together app.
Ginsburg's death ignited a political controversy over whether or not President Trump should appoint her replacement before this November's election. Trump announced earlier this week he will nominate Judge Amy Coney Barrett, a professor at Notre Dame's law school, to succeed Ginsburg on the Supreme Court. If appointed, she will be the 5th female judge in the court's history. Next on Texas News Channel, Alexa Sherry will be introducing a new segment on our show.
So stay tuned and we will catch you after the break.
Welcome back to Texas News Channel. Today we are starting TNC's first business segment, where we will bring you up to date on all major business decisions, economic conditions, and the status of the U.S. and global stock market. The coronavirus pandemic brought global changes to our economy, political tensions, and the effects that follow. Our news channel values the importance of reporting to all of our viewers the current economic state of our nation each week. According to the Wall Street Journal, the S&P 500 has reached its 4th consecutive week of decline in the market. Factors including the pandemic and events surrounding the presidential election are contributing to the steady decline. Investors are losing confidence due to the increased levels of coronavirus cases in Europe and the US. We will follow up next week on how investors continue to react to the situation. IT companies have been the top performing sector of the S&P since last Friday. Apple and Microsoft both are seeing rises as people are becoming more reliant on technology to function during this pandemic. These tech giants have been dominating the market as the dependency on technology grows, and these companies are projected to stay on this path. It will be interesting to see the volatility with these stocks over the next quarter. US-based company Novavax announced last Thursday it is in its final stages of an experimental COVID-19 vaccine. The company's stock is now seeing an increased popularity among investors after this announcement, with stocks rising 11%. As we are entering the fourth quarter, a lot will be at risk for equities to make gains, according to the Wall Street Journal. Now, will the stock market experience a bearish or bullish state in the upcoming weeks? Stay tuned next week to find out. I'm Alexis Sherry, reporting live from the Business Center. Now back to you.
In a letter addressed to the Longhorn Band, the Dean of UT's College of Fine Arts, Douglas Dempster, says the Longhorn Band will be expected to play The Eyes of Texas when they resume performing at games. The song has been the subject of controversy, especially over the summer when information about its origin, as a song performed at minstrel shows, led many to call for the song's removal as UT's alma mater.
This past Sunday, the New York Times released an exclusive article that claims Trump only paid $750 in taxes in 2016 and 2017. One of the more interesting tax deductions he claimed was $70,000 in hair care. Trump has yet to respond, but one of his lawyers has disputed the accuracy of these claims. The Times has declined to release the tax filings in order to protect its sources.
Tonight, President Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden will face off in the first of 3 debates for this fall's presidential election. This debate will take place in Cleveland, Ohio, and will be moderated by Fox News' Chris Wallace. Topics to be covered include the pandemic, race, and the economy.
If you're a Longhorn, you should be proud. UT has set record-breaking highs for 4-year and 6-year graduation rates. The 4-year graduation rate reached 72.2%, which was found in data collected on the 12th class day this semester. Increases in the rates were noted especially for the graduation rates of Hispanic, Black, first-generation, and Pell Grant-eligible students.
Should you keep your umbrella handy this week or get ready for some sunshine? Kelsey Leffingwell will let you know after the break. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Texas News Channel. After those cool days last week, it looks like we're starting to get that summer heat back. On Tuesday, you can expect a very sunny day with a high of 81 and temperatures dropping to a low of 55 at night. Tomorrow, expect the high to reach back up to 90 degrees with a low of 60 going into Wednesday night. Thursday and Friday, expect for those temperatures to stay the same, reaching highs in the 80s and lows in the 60s. Into the weekend, we can expect that heat to continue to give us a lot of sunny days, with highs in the 80s and 90s and lows getting into 60s at night. That's all from me. Live from the Weather Center, I'm Kelsey Leffingwell.
Thanks, Kelsey. Looking at sports now, this past Saturday, the Texas Longhorns took on the Texas Tech Red Raiders in Lubbock. The game was an absolute shootout, going into overtime with Texas coming out with the win 63-56. Here is John Kelly with more.
Last Saturday, the Longhorns and the Red Raiders met for the 70th time on the gridiron. It was an absolute thriller of a game, seeing Texas mount a 15-point comeback in the last minutes of the fourth and to win it in overtime. While the Longhorns may have secured the victory, Tom Herman gave his thoughts on how the Horns got in the hole.
Obviously, the tackling on defense, I felt like it was last year. I did. And, you know, with no spring ball, very limited contact in fall camp, you know, I think and then, you know, playing UTEP in our opener, I think the speed of the game, you know, got to our guys a little bit. I really do.
Herman gave some insight into the fourth quarter comeback.
Our quarterback actually looked at me and he said, they left us too much time. He said, we're going to tie this thing up and win it in overtime. And I believed him. Shoot, if Sam Ellinger was trying to sell me oceanfront property in Arizona, I'd probably write him a check. He's usually right on. And he was right. And, you know, really proud of the offense and, you know, for being able to do that. Proud of our onside kick team to get the ball back.
Despite being a difficult victory, when asked, Herman believes that this game is an important step to becoming a great team.
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, we had a couple players say the same thing in the locker room, that, you know, great teams have a game or two like this. You know, we saw the two teams that played in our conference championship last year had some real nail biters. You know, I think Baylor had a couple overtime wins, stuff, you know, things like that. So, you know, they all count the same. But for us to find the intestinal fortitude to come out and not give up, not hang their head, down 15 with 3 minutes and some change left, find a way to win that thing. I think there's a lot of confidence that can come from that, but also a lot of humility. And that was the thing that I stressed, and that some of the leaders on the team, some of the kids stressed. Hopefully this humbles some guys in there that thought this was going to be easy, that every game was going to be like UTEP. And I think that point was made very clear here today.
After this thrilling matchup, the Longhorns take on another in-state rival, TCU, this Saturday, while the Red Raiders travel up to Manhattan, Kansas to play recent OU upsetters Kansas State. From Jones AT&T Stadium in Lubbock, Texas, I'm John Kelly, TSTV Sports.
And joining us tonight is Justin Morris. Now, Justin, Texas Tech gave the Longhorns a run for their money. What was the reasoning behind the high-scoring game?
Well, Faith, there was a lot that went wrong on both sides of the ball, but Texas especially struggled on defense. The Longhorns had a lot of difficulty making tackles and stopping the run. In head coach Tom Herman's press conference today, he said the defense was embarrassed by their performance, but remained optimistic that tweaks can be made and make them ready for their next game.
This upcoming Saturday, Texas faces TCU for the Horns' first home game in 3 weeks. What does Texas have to do to make sure they get the job done against the Horned Frogs?
Well, both Texas and Tom Herman have struggled against the Horned Frogs in years past, with the game always coming a little too close for comfort. Herman talked about the attitude that the team displayed in Saturday's game in Lubbock, and how even though they were down by 15 with only a few minutes left in the fourth quarter, they never put their heads down and still came away with the win. If that mantra can carry over to this weekend's contest against TCU, I think Texas will be able to finish the weekend 3-0.
Thanks for coming on, Justin. Up next is Megan Fee with entertainment. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Texas News Channel. I'm Megan Fee. The wait is finally over. On September 23rd, Gigi Hadid gave birth to her first child with Zayn Malik, who she's been on and off dating since 2015. The pair's baby girl was announced via Hadid's Instagram of a picture with the baby's hand wrapped around Malik's hand. The caption read, "Our girl joined us Earthside this weekend, and she's already changed our world. So in love." Their daughter's name is still to be announced, but congratulations to the happy couple. The Simpsons' new season aired yesterday night at 8 p.m., and the show has made a major diversity pledge. The Simpsons team released a statement in June saying that they will no longer have white actors voice non-white characters. Alex Desert will be the new voice of Homer's power plant co-worker, Carl. The Simpsons creators have not yet released if that will be his only character or if he will voice other Black characters in the show. National Daughters Day flooded our feed with adorable content this weekend. But just when you thought it couldn't get any cuter, J-Lo posted a video on her feed of her daughter Emmy saying, "You are the best mom in the entire world, and I couldn't ask for a better mom. I really miss you, and I love you." Although we don't know the context of this video, it makes all who watch smile as it reflects how great of a mom J-Lo has been known to be. That's it for me. I'm Megan Fee. Back to you.
Thanks, Megan. And as always, we thank you for tuning in.
You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Texas News TSTV.
If you have a news tip, you can reach out to us on all of our social media sites or email us at texasstudenttv.com.
You can catch Good Morning Texas Wednesdays at 7 a.m. I'm Maggy Wolanske.
And I'm Faith Osterberg. From all of us at TNC, good night, and we'll see you next week.